Now, one thing I like about the M1 Finance desktop platform is you can get a decent amount of information about stocks, either within your portfolio or ones that you might be considering investing into. So, for example, let's click on GLP to get more information. So, it shows here that I have a current value in this stock of about $46,200. My gain here is made up of a market loss here of $5,600, but I have earned $2,141 in dividends. So they take the market loss, add back the dividends, and that gives me an overall gain here of negative about $3,500 or about 7.5%. So this gives you a really good snapshot, and it also shows you how the dividends have affected your overall gain or loss on that particular stock. And then if you were looking to invest more money into your portfolio, you can initiate a manual transfer by basically clicking this blue deposit button right here, and you select what account it's coming from, where you want to put it, and how much money. Also, I have auto invest turned off right now just because I'm actually taking my dividends and paying that back towards my M1 borrow. But if you wanted to automatically reinvest your cash balance and rebalance your portfolio every time it hit $25 or more, you would simply turn this on and set your minimum cash balance. I think by default it is $25, but you can set it to zero, and that would mean that every time new money is added in the form of dividends, etc., it's rebalanced and invested across the portfolio. Now, if you jump over to the activity tab here, you can see everything that's been going on with your M1 Finance account. So in my case here, you can see I earned a couple of dividends here. This one was pretty big from GLP Global Partners. I earned a dividend of $943.62. Earned dividend here from National Grid of $342.79. That was a stock that I had sold. And you can also see here dividends being earned. You can see the bill payment for my M1 borrow as well being automatically deducted every single month. So basically what it does is it sells a small amount of whatever stock I'm overweight in and puts that money towards the interest payment automatically on my M1 borrow. If you jump over to the holdings tab, it's going to show you your overall gain or loss. Right now, as I said, I put a lot of money into small caps, and so I am down about 14% in the short term, and it breaks it down across the different stocks that you own. So this section here of the desktop platform shows you your overall funding history with your account, basically money that went in versus money that came out. So as you can see here, I invested heavily during the pandemic. I put in about $151,000, and I had an outflow or withdrawal of about $68,400. This year, as you can see, I have taken out a lot more money than I put in just because I was selling off some long-term capital gains from those pandemic purchases of those blue chip stocks. So I've only had about $8,000 of deposits and $72,000 of withdrawals. I don't believe that paying back your M1 borrow counts as a withdrawal, but I also put $30,000 from my invest account towards my M1 borrow. So that's how I basically took about 100 grand off the table from this account and basically changed up those allocations. But this gives you a really good snapshot of the money coming in and the money going out of your M1 Finance Invest account. The next thing I want to show you guys here is related to M1 Borrow. I want to show you what this looks like on my end. So as you can see, I currently have $26,819 borrowed at an interest rate of 2% because I have the M1 Plus subscription. Right now, I'm sitting at good in terms of my status, and that means that I'm not really at any risk here for having my stocks sold. It does say we will issue a maintenance call if your account value drops by 40%. So my account value would have to drop by about $41,000 instantly or over a period of time. If that were to happen, at that point, they may sell some of my stocks to pay back this loan. You can see where I borrowed and then where I've repaid, as well as how much interest I've accrued. And I currently am using 90% of my limit. So if I wanted to, I could borrow an additional $3,000 and have that deposited to my brokerage account or my bank account by the end of the week. However, right now I'm actually paying this down just because I put that money towards my truck. So that's why I'm pretty much just chipping away at this and putting my dividends towards my M1 Borrow balance. The very last thing I'm going to show you guys here is the research section of the desktop platform. You can do the same thing on the app, but I prefer to do this on desktop just so I have a better time reading. Right on the front page here under research, you're going to get a news stream with relevant articles related to the stock market, as well as performance of the overall stock market indexes. After that, you can click on stocks to enter the stock screener section. And honestly, for a free tool, I find this to be pretty awesome. You can set minimum or maximum market cap, PE ratio, dividend yield, and even choose sectors that you're looking to invest in. So for example, let's say I was looking for a utility stock with a minimum dividend yield of 2% and a maximum of 5%. That is going to show me exactly those right here. There's 67 total, and then I could do individual research on these. You can see the PE ratio on the side, and you can toggle between 1 year, 2 year, and 5 year performance just to see how each of these stocks have performed. So I really like this tool here for basically stock screening. If you don't know like what stock you want to invest in, but you're looking for different criteria, it's super helpful to get new ideas about potential investments.